Hey everyone, I'd like to start out today by just offering my congratulations and excitement over our new black belts that graded yesterday. We had a black belt grading in Sydney and we had 3 new Shodan hos, 2 new Shodans, a knee dan, and a gold dan, 5th dan black belt. So well done, champions. None of them achieved that without having to overcome quite a bit of sacrifice and overcoming multiple challenges and disheartenment and all sorts of things that they needed to overcome. And so our challenge, if we want to achieve things like that, is to be able to become better at overcoming those kinds of challenges and negative experiences, because if you can't overcome those negative experiences and turn them into positives, then we won't ever get to getting those high-level black belt gradings that we're so blessed to have had yesterday. So how do we deal with, we don't really need to learn how to celebrate the successes, do we? It's pretty straightforward, it feels good, it's easy, but we do need to practice being able to overcome the challenges which allow us to get to that point. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a bit more about that. So when something bad happens, you can think of something bad being something trivial, something major. You lose a loved one, can't get much worse than that. You imagine whatever you want to imagine as we go through this today. I challenge you to go as bad as you can deal with the worst case and get good at that. But firstly, there's a difference between processing a situation and suppressing a situation or a feeling. So having a black belt mindset is not about suppressing things. Having a positive mindset sometimes is like you just plug your ears and don't want to hear the negative stuff, and but we never learn from that, and we're suppressing it. So sometimes when you lose a loved one, well-meaning people will come and try and take your mind off it by doing something, basically trying to take your mind off it. But that's not really dealing with it. That's potentially suppressing the feeling, like hiding it away, like just putting it in a compartment and moving on and thinking about something else. But if you haven't processed it, it will jump out of that scary box at some point. Guaranteed. It will continue to affect you in a negative sense. A suppressed feeling like that is not something that you've dealt with. So you need to find ways to process those things. And that's how you actually can move forward, learn from them, become stronger, become better, not have a whole lot of skeletons in the cupboard. So you want to remove your expectations from what you think should have happened. You want to remove entitlements. You want to remove your sense of being wronged. And you want to sit with your pain and accept it. Feel the pain. Accept it. Know that this is part of life. Pain is a negative emotion, or could be seen as a negative emotion. But it's part of life, just like happiness and joy is. You want to feel it, experience it, let it wash over you. Don't camp in it forever. It's like happiness. You're not going to camp in happiness forever. It's all part of the experience. Without happiness, without joy, you wouldn't have sorrow. Without sorrow, you wouldn't have... They go hand in hand. You've got to experience both. It's part of life. It's life. It's how it works. Once you've sat with it, you've accepted it, you know it's part of life, you wash over it, you want to move into the game. You want to find the positive from the situation. You can focus on the gap, what's missing, what you've lost, or you can focus on the gain, what you've gained from the situation, what you've done from it. So a quick process that you can go through in order to do this you can do this. This is a good sort of gratitude process that you can use in any time. Doesn't need to be a time of grief or sorrow or loss or anything, but it's a good practice to get in. So the biggest thing as a black belt mindset is having these practices and processes already worked out in your mind when the big stuff happens. Because when something big happens, it's maybe too late if you haven't already got the practices and the processes in your mind. So just imagine that you take something away that you have now. Okay, so imagine that you never had something that you had now. So let's just imagine you never started karate. What would that mean to me? What would that mean to you? What would your life be like now? Like, play it out, go back. All right, whenever you started karate, I started 20-something years ago. Like, what would you not have now? How would your life be different? So, for example, for me personally, what if I never met my wife, Nada? Okay, well, at that point in time, I was going through some karate stuff, so I may not have been even done karate. I probably wouldn't have ended up on the Central Coast doing karate, because Nada was doing karate, so I stuck at it, spent some time with Renchi Peter. But, you know, one thing went to another thing, and then I found myself back as a regional manager in the Central Coast. I wouldn't have met all the wonderful people in the Central Coast. I wouldn't have been potentially at the grading yesterday. You know, like, so much, like, my whole life would be different from that perspective. I wouldn't have 2 amazing kids. I probably wouldn't be living in Barara. I probably, you know, like, this, like, if I look at it, my life would be completely different just by not meeting Nada. My life would be completely different if I hadn't done karate. My life would be completely different if I never got my black belt. So if I take away any one of those things and then imagine and write down, like, what would my life be like without all that stuff? And then I go, well, hang on, wow, I've got this. I've got an amazing wife. I've got 2 amazing kids. I live in an amazing place in Barara. I've got an amazing bunch of people and friends in the Central Coast that I've met. I was at a black belt grading yesterday where 7 people got black belt and beyond. Like, now I can sit in that gratitude. Now I'm like fully experiencing what I have, and I have gratitude for what I've got right now, right here, rather than being stuck off into the future somewhere, because we only have now. And so I find that that's a really great little process that you can use at any time to increase your level of gratitude, happiness, joy in the moment. I hope all that kind of makes some sense and you can weave something in there, and there's something there for you. As always, grab your journal, make some notes, relate it to you. If you find something beneficial, throw a comment in below so that we can all share. Thank you for listening. Congratulations again to those people who got their grades yesterday, and I'll see you in the dojo.